What's going on, everybody? Happy Sunday afternoon. I hope you guys are having a great weekend so far. I know it's almost over and it's about time to go back to work, but hey, let's just enjoy the last few hours we have, all right? So let's go ahead and get some more patching done on our DWM/suckless install on our Void Linux setup. I'm doing this in a VM, as you well know if you've watched the previous videos. You might be doing this on hardware. You might not be doing this at all, but you might also be doing it in a VM. So let's just go ahead and get going. I have my VM launched right here. Let's go ahead and launch a terminal. We're going to do Control-Shift page up is going to zoom us in the ST terminal, and then we are going to cd into .config/suckless and then /DWM 6.4 and hit enter. Now if I do an ls, we've already got the DWM auto start patch added, we have the DWM systray patch added, and we have the DWM vanity gaps patch added. Today we are going to add the exit menu, which is going to give us an exit menu up here to allow us to exit out of DWM, shut down, reboot, hibernate, all that good stuff. And we also are going to add a restartsig patch, which is going to allow us to restart DWM when we make changes without having to log out and log back in again. So let's just go ahead and get started. So we're going to use the patch command to do the exit menu, and we are going to do -p1, and we're going to do less than, and so we're going to do DWM-EX, and we'll just hit tab to self-finish that, and we have that diff in there. We're going to hit enter, and you can see that we have patched config.def.h, but it failed on both hunks, and it did create the exit dwm.c file. Now, let's go ahead and vim into our config.def.h.reject file to actually see what we actually need to do. And we can see right here that we need to add the include exit dwm.c file that it created, and we need to change one of the key bindings from mod shift q for quit to mod shift E to exit DWM. So let's go ahead and do a control WS. We'll split our screen. We're going to do control W down arrow because I want my config.def.h on the bottom here. It's up to you if you want it on top or bottom, but I like it on the bottom. So then we're going to do a colon, and we're going to edit our config.def.h. So now we can see down here, if we go up to the top here, you can see we need to include this exit dwm.c, and it does it right above where it calls the keys. And so we have that right here, static const key keys. That's going to call our keys, so we need to add this line right above it. So if we do control W down and we go into insert mode, we're just going to do, we could copy and paste, but we're already here, so I'm going to do #include, and then in double quotes we're going to put exit dwm.c, and then we're going to close those parentheses, or those quotes. And then we need to change this bottom key binding. Now we could erase one line and add another one, but if we actually just go down here, what we can do is we can leave this alone because it goes from mod shift q to mod shift e. And what we can do is we can just change this. So mod _q we can now change to mod _e. And then instead of quit, it's going to be exit DWM. And then we'll come over here, and to line things up right, we'll just bring that back, and we will write in quit. So now we have that patch completed. So if we do a cp config.def.h to config.h, and we hit enter, and we do a sudo make clean install and hit enter, we're going to enter our super secret password, and we are going to build with no errors. Now we don't have that restart sig patch added yet, so we do need to log out, and we're going to use start X to log back in. Now if I do mod shift E, we should see an exit menu appear up here with our different options. So let's do mod shift E, and there we go. We have an exit menu using dmenu, and we can scroll through here, and we can let's say restart DWM, and that should be good to go. So let's go ahead and add the other patch. So we're going to launch that terminal again, control shift page up to zoom in, cd into .config suckless DWM, do an ls, and that other patch was DWM restartsig. So let's do a patch -p1, and we're going to do less than, and DWM-restart. We're going to hit tab to autocomplete, and we're going to hit enter. Now we can see we failed at patch 1 here on the config.def.h. We succeeded patching the DWM.1 file, and we failed one patch on the DWM.c file. So first, let's vim into config.def.h.reject, and hit enter to see what we need to do. So we need to add a key binding here. So let's just go ahead and Control WS, and we are going to edit and config.def.h, and you can see that we have mod control shift Q, mod control shift Q. So it says we failed there, but from what I'm seeing, it looks like we've got it in there right, correct? Yeah, it looks like it. So we're going to leave that be. We're going to write and quit, and we are going to write and quit. So that was the config.def.h failed at 94, but it passed, which is just weird. Let's vim into our config.def.h again real quick just to verify that. Yeah, it looks like it's good. It's mod control shift Q quit. So let's config.def.h.reject and hit enter. Yeah, that looks like it should be good. So let's exit out of there. And what was the second one? I don't know why it said we failed on that. 1 out of 100 failed. That's just interesting. Okay, so patching file DWM.1, that succeeded. File DWM.c. So let's vim into DWM.c.reject and hit enter. And it looks like we need static int restart equals 0 added on there. So let's go ahead and Control WS to split. And we're going to edit DWM.c and hit enter. And I didn't change it. But anyway, we're right where we need to be. Static int running equals 1, so we have that right here. So right above that, we need to put in static int restart equals 0, and then semicolon. So let's go ahead and write and quit, and now we need to do a cp config.def.h to config.h and hit enter. And let's vim into config.h real quick, just to make sure. I'm just really kind of worried that that didn't take right, because it said it failed, but mod control shift Q quit. So it took. I don't know why it says it failed, but it took. I guess we'll find out when we try to build. So let's do a sudo make clean install and hit enter. We're going to enter our password, and then we're going to see what happens. So we got no errors. So even though it said it failed, it didn't fail, and it built correctly. So now I know I said restartsig allows us to make changes and then relaunch DWM without logging out, but when we install that patch, we have to log out for the first time and log back in for it to take effect. So let's do a mod shift Q is going to not log me out, but if we do a mod shift, that's right, because it's the restart. So mod shift E, and we log out that way with our menu that we installed. Now we can do start X and hit enter. So now we need to see if we can reload with something taking effect. So let's go ahead and launch a terminal. Let's zoom in again. We're going to cd into .config -suckless DWM and hit enter. Now let's vim into config.h, and we're going to do something that's kind of easy, I guess. So let's do a GG to jump to the top of the file, and let's change a color here. So this blue color we have in the bar is this 005577. So let's go ahead and change that real quick and see if we can make it take effect without logging out. So we're going to change that to 008080. This should be a teal color. So let's write and quit. Let's do a sudo make clean install and hit enter. Enter our super secret password, and normally at this point when we build, we'd have to log out of DWM and log back in, but since we added that key binding in that patch to restart, we can do a mod control shift Q, and there we go. The changes automatically took effect. The color of our status bar changed with what we changed it to in our file, and we didn't have to restart DWM at all manually. We didn't have to log out and log back in. We just hit a key binding and it restarted after it compiled the new binary. So that's pretty cool. I like those two patches. We got them up and going, and I think that is a success. Now again, I don't know why that patch said it failed when it didn't. There's just some things that I guess are unexplainable. And it's not unexplainable. There's probably something that I'm just missing that that happened, and I'm just not quite grasping it. But anyway, that being said, we now have a decent looking and a decent operating DWM configuration. I think we'll do a few more patches on the next video here. Actually, how much time have we got here? I've still got a little bit of time. Let's go ahead and launch dmenu here, and let's go to Firefox, and we're going to go to workspace 9 because that's where it's going to launch. We're going to go to sucklist.org, and we will go to, actually let's go to ST. And ST doesn't have a scrollback function by default. So if we go to workspace 2 here and we launch ST and we say history and hit enter, and I try to scroll back, you can see we've got nothing. I can't scroll back no matter what I'm doing here. It just doesn't work. So let's go ahead and close that out. Let's go back over to workspace 9 and let's do a patch for scrolling back. So if we go right here, we have the scrollback patch. Now we can see that there are several different options for the scrollback patch. We want to take the latest offering of the scrollback patch. So right now we're going to do ST scrollback. This one was from 2021, 5 of 07 of 2021. So let's go ahead and right click on that. We are going to save the link. We are going to go into the suck list and into ST, and we're going to save it there. Let's go back to workspace 1. Let's go ahead and launch our terminal again. We're going to do a zoom in so you can see. We're going to cd into .config sucklist st and hit enter. And if we do an ls, we should have that st patch. So let's do a patch -p1 and do less than and do st scrollback and hit enter. And it shows we succeeded at every spot. So let's do a sudo, actually let's do a ls and do a cp, not sp, cp config.dev.h to config.h and hit enter and do a sudo make clean install and hit enter. Enter our super secret password, and then it's going to build, and we'll do mod control shift q. We should restart. And now if I clear the screen and do a history and hit enter, I believe mod page up and page down scroll in ST. So if I do a mod page up and page down, was it? Mod shift page up and page down? I don't know. Let's go back and look at it. So through using shift page up and page down. Okay. So we've got to use shift page up and page down. So we're going to do shift page up and page down. It doesn't seem to be working. Oh, no? That's weird. I haven't had any issues with this before. So let's go ahead and exit out. We'll restart DWM. Maybe. So that restarted. So let's do shift. Wait, it still doesn't. Oh, it still doesn't want to work, does it? So let's close that out and let's launch the terminal again and type history and hit enter and do a shift. There we go. Now it works. I just had to close that terminal. So sorry about that. It's been kind of a long day. So now I'm using page up and page down with the shift key, and it is scrolling me back through my history. So there's that patch that took effect. Let's go to workspace 9 here, and let's see what else we can do here. Let's try the let's just try something dumb like, well, let's get some patches going on dmenu as well. So let's go to tools, let's go to dmenu, and let's look at patches in dmenu. And how about we do so we do mod p. It covers the bar pretty well, so that's not, so let's go to a different workspace and do mod p. Yeah, it covers the bar. Let's do the patch for centered, shall we? is this will allow us to actually launch dmenu in the center. So we're going to do the 5.2 diff. So we're going to right click on that. We're going to save link. And we are going to go into the sucklist directory and into dmenu. And we are going to save. And let's go back to workspace 1 here. Let's launch a terminal. Let's zoom in that terminal. cd into .config sucklist and cd into dmenu. And hit enter, and we're going to do a patch -p1 less than dmenu dash center div and hit enter. We succeeded, so let's do a sudo make clean install and hit enter. No, we don't want to do that yet. Let's do a ls, and we want to copy config.def.h to config.h and hit enter, and then do a sudo make clean install and hit enter. Enter our super secret password, and we are going to do dmenu is still going to launch at the top. What we need to do is we need to vim into config.h, I believe, and is centered, and we're going to say 0, and we're going to change that 0 to 1. We are going to write and quit. We're going to do a sudo make clean install and hit enter. It's going to rebuild it. And now if we do mod p, we have it in the center. So we can now type like st, or we can type Firefox. Now, let's go ahead and add another one to make this a little bit better. So let's go to 9, and we are going to add the prompt, or the grid, I believe it is. The grid patch. So we are going to then go ahead and copy this one. We're going to save the link. We're going to save it right here. And we are going to go into ls, and we can see that we've got it in there. So let's do a patch p1, and we're going to do the grid. So let's just delete this, and we're going to do grid tab. It's succeeded. We are going to vim into config.dev.h and hit enter. And let's see what we have for the grid. Let's do L and G options control the number of lines and columns. Let's say 3, and actually let's do 5 and 3. And we will exit out of there and write and quit, and we'll do a cp config.def.h to config.h and hit enter. Now we are going to do a sudo make clean install and hit enter. It should build, and now when we do mod p, you can see we're at the top. So again, which is where we don't want to be, so let's vim into config.def.h again, and you can see is centered is now canceled to 0 again, so we want to change that to 1 so we can have it centered. Write and quit cp config.def.h to config.h and hit enter, and then do a sudo make clean install again and hit enter. It's going to build again. We'll go ahead and do mod p, and now we have it in the center with the different a little bit more showing up. So we've got a few patches. Now we can center our dmenu. We can scroll back in ST. We have an exit menu on DWM, and we have the restartsig, so we can actually restart without logging out and logging back in. So I think we got quite a bit accomplished today. I think we're going to go ahead and leave it at that for now. I know this series is dragging on, but I'm trying to take this in smaller chunks. Like I said in one of my last videos, I debated on whether doing one long big video to do the whole thing or to take it in smaller chunks. I decided to go with smaller chunks. So hopefully you guys can stay patient with me, and we can continue this on and get this DWM setup built the way we like it. So that being said, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, a great rest of your weekend. I hope you guys have a great week. Stay safe, and God bless.